Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. Today is going to be my first declutter of 2023. We're decluttering brushes today. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. If you're into eyeshadow palettes, essence and Catrice, and getting the use out of your makeup the way that I am, then definitely stay tuned because I am here to do a decluttering series. It was time to do some spring cleaning in both my wardrobe and my makeup collection, and today we are doing the makeup collection declutter. It's 6 parts. I'm going to be reusing this part of the video for every single video. So if you're like, I've heard that before, that might be true, because I always need to get a couple of things out of the way before we get into a declutter. Yes, this is a declutter. That doesn't mean you have to declutter. If that makes you like feel bad or whatever, please don't. I'm just here to clear out my personal makeup collection, which is something that has grown over time. I didn't buy this in one go. I've been creating makeup, beauty related content for more than a decade, which is where some of these things, have somehow, I've somehow acquired them along the way. Not all of it is PR. I buy most of it with my own money. But yeah, the past couple of years have definitely put things into perspective. So I already knew going into it that I wanted to get rid of quite a bit. And even some OG favorites that I hold very near and dear to my heart, where I just felt like, it's time. It's time. It's also good to know that I have fair skin with a cool to neutral undertone, which means that it greatly skews my makeup preferences. So if I'm getting rid of a product that you love, that works great for you, then please keep using it. It just may be something that didn't work for me, or maybe I've just had it for a while. There are so many different reasons why I might be getting rid of something, and it doesn't mean that you have to as well. So yeah, that's everything I wanted to mention before we got started. Let me get stuck into these declutters. Welcome to declutter number 1, and today we're going to be talking about my brushes because they need to clear out. I've tried a lot of new brushes in the past year or so, and I want to keep what works for me, but also declutter the ones that I don't really use. And the overflow is in this cubby. This is my pouch with travel brushes. I've got sponges here, and this is my everyday. So we're going to go through everything in categories. So let me get organized. So we're starting with the miscellaneous things first, and this is brush cleansing and sponges. I know I'm going to be decluttering all of these. This is a Kaleido sponge, another one. I don't remember where this is from. I think it may be an SS1, and this one I also got as a freebie. My favorite makeup sponge is this guy. This is the AOA Studio sponge with the hourglass shape. It's their Paw Paw sponge, but since last summer, I've been switching to brushes, and I don't really use them anymore, but they're handy to have. If I ever feel like using a sponge again, then I can, so that's what we're going to be working with. And then these are just makeup cleansing bits, so if I want to quickly spot clean some brushes, I always use this. I bought it years ago. It's still not gone. And then I just have my brush cleaning tools. This Real Techniques one I've had for years. I need to clean it, and then this is a new one I got free as a gift with purchase, and it's been working quite well for cleaning my brushes, but it also needs a clean. So I made sure to clean all of my brushes before I sat down to film this video. So let me go through the brushes in categories so that you can really talk about like each category and see how much I have. All right, can you see all these brushes laid out for you? I've got my eye brushes down the bottom, and I've got my face brushes across the top. Now, I can already tell you, that all of these brushes are gonna go. These are all brushes that once came in a palette. So it's Urban Decay and Anastasia mostly, but also some Sigma things. They're mostly double-ended ones, which I don't use. And I've kept them around for all these years, and I just know that I won't be using them ever again. So these can go. Shall we start here? So these are all sort of like rounder blush brushes. That's the category we're looking at here. And this is my favorite one. This is by Real Techniques. I use this every single day, so this is not going anywhere. This is a dupe for a NARS brush, but it is from the Canadian drugstore, and it's actually by Quo. This is really nice, really fluffy. It's great for very intense blushes. So I'd like to keep this one around as well, but I'm not sure I need to keep it with my daily brushes anymore. And then these two I like. It's a Zoeva brush. This is the Petite Face Finish. And this has the name has rubbed off, but I know this is a Real Techniques one. These are really nice for cream products and like cream contour and stuff, because you can use that like top edge to get into the hollows of your cheeks and then use the rest of the brush to blend it if you'd like. So these are good, but I don't really do cream contour or anything like that in my day-to-day life. So again, good brushes that I don't want to get rid of, but they're going to go into storage. And then I have quite a few of these like angled blush brushes. And I have to say that I actually like all of these. This one is a bit old. It's by Boozy Shop. It's one of those brushes that came in the little pouch that I use to keep my travel brushes in. And that was the intention when I bought this set, was to use it as a travel brush makeup set. But I didn't end up loving all of the brushes. So what I've been doing instead is that I take brushes that I don't necessarily love for the daily, but I put that in my travel makeup bag. But yeah, this one can therefore go. So that's one brush down. The Zoeva one is my go-to, but I now have this Rephr brush. The Zoeva is the 127. The Rephr is the number 4 brush. And I just feel that the Rephr one is a little bit smaller. Oops, I'm dropping things. And therefore I feel it just works a little bit better for my cheeks. Like you just see the size of it. I'm not going to get rid of the Zoeva because it's such a good brush, but that's also the older one, so I feel the hairs have gotten a little bit more splayed. The Rephr one is a good replacement for that. Now this little Spectrum guy was from the Tinkerbell collection, and I actually figured out that I didn't wash my travel brush set. Oh well. I thought I had everything covered. Apparently I didn't. This is their 832, and this is so great for travel makeup. It is quite small though. So now I'm thinking, shouldn't I just take the bigger Spectrum brush? Because look at that size difference. And I do like to cover a bit of ground when I apply my blush. So I think this is the A05 angled brush. I think this needs to go into the travel makeup bag. And then I can get rid of the Tinkerbell one. It's a really good brush though, but I have 2 of them by Spectrum, so I don't feel I need to keep both. And I definitely want to keep the BK Beauty one. This is the 112. That's another brand I tried in the past year, and this is a lovely little brush. So then if I want to go for something smaller, like are they too similar to keep them both? I like both of them. But, you know, getting rid of 2, keeping 3, it's fine. Who remembers the e.l.f. stippling brush? This is the small stippling brush, which I've always used for contour. I don't contour a lot anymore, but if I ever feel inclined, I do think I want to keep this guy around. If you're looking for good affordable brushes and you're just starting out, then e.l.f. is a great starting brand. So I've laid out all of my more domed sort of face brushes, and I have so many of these, and it's not a category of brush that I use a lot. So how do I end up having so many? I already can tell just by looking at it that this Catrice brush can go. I've never reached for it, so that's an easy declutter. Same thing for this Nabla brush. I bought like a couple of Nabla brushes just to give the brand a try. And this is a really good brush, but I just don't love the shape for what it would use for. And the handle is just a little bit thick, which is another reason why I'm not using it. So those can go. This Catrice one is good, but it's a highlighter brush, they say, but it's a bit big for me for highlight. This could be a blush brush. It could be a bronzer brush for sure. And this line with the soft pink handles from Catrice was really, really nice. I just bought a couple to try it, and they're really good brushes. but I don't reach for it. This is a maybe. I'm going to make a maybe pile here off to the side. It may be good to have one of these in my travel makeup bag as well. The Essence one has been my favorite over the Spectrum one though. I think I'm gonna keep the Essence one. This is from their Jurassic World collection. It came with a small brush set, and they are actually really good travel makeup brushes as well. But if I'm traveling, maybe this for bronzer and this for blush. I think for now I want to keep both in my travel makeup bag, just so I have options, you know. And then we have this Kaleidos brush. This is the B1 blush brush. And this, I've never even used it. Like, I don't love the feel of the hairs, so that can go. It was a freebie, so gift with purchase. And this is nice. This is the BK Beauty 1110, and this is just not as fluffy. So this is actually really good for like creams. I could see myself contouring with this. And the BK Beauty brush sets that I bought are all a bit smaller, so they fit my features a bit better. So this I just love as like a multi-purpose brush. So this is going to go into the everyday blush brush set. And I think I actually want to do the same with this Rephr brush. This is a great multitasker. It's their number 19 brush. And this, again, can be used for so many different things. Again, I don't love the brush shape, so it's not going to go in like my go-to brushes. But I am going to keep it for every day just because I love the quality of the Rephr brushes. And then these ones are both by Zoeva. This is the Petite Face Definer and the Looks Highlight. This used to be my highlight brush of choice, but it's just a bit too fluffy, and it doesn't pick up a lot of product. So this one can by now go. I'm getting rid of a Zoeva brush. Do I really want to do that? That's a maybe. That feels scary. But the Petite Face Definer is, like, the Rephr and the BK Beauty are perhaps better than this. This is just a bit big. So yeah, I think I can get rid of this one, because I haven't used it in a while. How do I feel about that? Like this I can see myself like using for like under eye setting powder. So I'll keep this for backup, and then this can go. I feel better about that. Then we have another bigger section here in the face brush category. These are all sort of like foundation kabuki-like brushes. And I know I can cull some here. I do also know that I want to keep this one for my travel makeup bag collection. This is the A35 from Spectrum, and this is really good. It's great for concealer. It's just a really good overall brush, so I want to use that. This is my favorite brush for cream bronzer. This is the Spectrum B01, so this is going to go into my everyday staples. It's really nice and flat, and because it is a synthetic brush, it's really good with creams. This Catrice brush is really lovely, but it's just, again, the handle, it's a bit big. I don't use this, so that can go. This BK Beauty brush has been actually my discovery of this using this for foundation. It's the 109, and I've been loving it for foundation, but I also still love my Zoeva. So the Zoeva 104 buffer can go into the backup pile, and then I can keep this one for my everyday. And I use that for concealer at the same time. It's really versatile. Which means that after all these years, I can get rid of this grubby Real Techniques brush. This is the buffing brush. Or should I put this also in my travel makeup bag? Because that's where it came from. It's from my travel makeup bag. And now that I like these kind of brushes again for applying foundation, yeah, it's a travel makeup bag option. But these four can go. This is by Max & More. It's a dupe for the Artis brushes that were a hype for a minute a couple of years ago here on YouTube. And I just don't use this. I am going to keep the small one in a minute because that's very handy. But this, I don't love it. And it's a bit cheap. These are some of my first ever more expensive brushes I ever bought. They are by Sigma. The F82 and the F80. Yes, the numbers haven't rubbed off yet. These are their kabuki brushes. As you can see, I can't get this to go to clean anymore. And this is really nice, but then I bought the Zoeva 104 buffer, and I prefer that over this, but now I have the BK Beauty one. So these two are, you know, sort of almost makeup memories. These are some of the first face brushes that I started using, and they are so good. And I don't think I can get rid of these though, because they are Sigma and they're really good quality. Maybe just get rid of this one because it's a bit small, but I'm going to be keeping the flat one because I prefer a flat top kabuki by now over a rounded kabuki. So the F80 is going to go into the backup pile, and then this Boozy Shop brush, this is their stippling brush actually, so it should have gone into a different section, but this I'm going to get rid of. I don't use this. Again, another gift with purchase, and then I try them once and then I don't like them. Here we have some like highlighter kind of brushes as well, but my favorite highlighter brush is still coming up because it has a different shape. This is the Spectrum B06. This one I just didn't like it. It's a little bit too fluffy for my liking for it to really pick up product and be a good brush for that reason. So that's why that's gonna go. But the, let me see, these are both Zoeva, the 134. Oh, they're both 134. Is that true? Yes, the Lux Powder Fusion. Oh, this is a little splayed from being in my cubby. This one looks best, but this has the fun packaging. I definitely don't need to keep both. They're the same. I'm going to keep the one with the black handle, and I'm going to put it in my everyday sort of like brush organization for sure. Here we have things that I potentially could use best for bronzer. And then we have the Crown C406 Large Duo Face Brush. This is my go-to bronzer brush, so this is not going anywhere. Keeping it for every day. That's what I use for powder bronzer, by the way. I have this short-handled MAC brush, which I actually use in my travel makeup bag for bronzer. And then I have another one of those Boozy Shop brushes. You can see that this has been used for bronzer as well, but that's gonna go. And I'm going to put this Essence one instead because it's a really lovely brush. This was another good range from Essence, and this is really, really nice for travel as well. So maybe I can take out the MAC one because it's a bit smaller. Yeah, I like this better. So I'm gonna put the MAC one in storage because it's a good one. Then we have the BK Beauty. This is so good for powder for me, I have found. This is the 111, so this is definitely going to stay in my everyday makeup selection. And then this is the Catrice bronzer brush, and these are from the same set. And these are lovely brushes. Like, look at how big and fluffy this thing is. It's such a well-made brush, and it wasn't expensive at all. So I'm thinking of keeping them, but keeping them in storage. That's sort of the idea here. And then the Rephr one I like, and I think that's just gonna go into like the everyday brush selection. This is a great multitasker, but it's just, if you compare it to the BK Beauty one, the BK Beauty one is just a little less dense, which is why it's better for me for powder, because I feel that this just applies a bit too much. It's more difficult to control. This is a great multitasker brush. It can do anything. Oh, it's the number 24. And finally, in face brushes, we've got powder brushes. And then the thing I've been using the most is the Sigma F25 tapered face brush. But now I have the BK Beauty one. I haven't been reaching for this at all. It's gonna go into storage because I love the brush still. I love my Sigma brushes, but it's been replaced, you could say. The e.l.f. powder brush used to be in my travel makeup bag, and it's just time to go because I don't use it. And then I have the Eco Tools one, which used to be in my travel makeup bag, which can go. And I think the one brush for powder that I'm going to put in my travel makeup bag is this one from Essence. This is again from that Jurassic World collection, and this was a lovely little set. So that's okay. This Rephr brush is so good, but look at how big that is. It doesn't fit my face, but it's good. So I'm not gonna get rid of it, but it's gonna go into storage. And then I have this Up and Up brush that I got at Target, like when I was on a trip in the US once. This is a good brush, and I used to use it for bronzer actually. Do I want to keep this? This is a maybe. I don't know. And then here we have the Spectrum A01. It's too flimsy, and because it's synthetic hairs, I feel it doesn't pick up powder the way I'd like it to. So that's why the Spectrum brushes is gonna go. And this is from Sydney Grace. I was really happy to find this in my mystery bag because I was like, ooh, a Sydney Grace brush. I love Sydney Grace as a brand, and when I saw that they were doing brushes, I wanted to try them, but they are a little bit expensive for me to shop from, so I was very happy to get a brush in my mystery bag. But then I tried it, and it's not really good at picking up product, I find. And I have this shape if I keep the Sigma one, so I don't need this. Even though this is newer and it's really lovely, I prefer the Sigma one over this still, so this is gonna go. And you can just see the tops of all of these, like, eyeshadow brushes here. Let me clear a bit of space here in the middle, because what I have most of is blending brushes. I mean, we need to get rid of a few, if you catch my drift. But some of these are, again, great for travel. This one was in my travel makeup bag. This is the Spectrum B06. I swear the letters on this is so small. This is actually great for concealer as well. So that's going to go back into the travel makeup bag, as is this little essence guy. These are, look at how tiny that is. It fits my eye shape so well. And that's another reason why I love this Rephr brush, the number 13 brush. Keeping it for every day. This is an everyday brush. This is actually not something I use for blending, but I use this to apply a eyeshadow to my base before I start my makeup look. And these two guys are my Real Techniques base shadow brushes. I use these for a one and done. I usually reach for the silver one over this. I don't need two of those in my collection, so I'm going to get rid of one, keep the other. This Boozy Shop brush and this Boozy Shop brush were, again, a Profusion brush were all like gifts with purchases, or they were in a palette, so those can go. Because I don't use these. This is great. This is from BK Beauty. It's their 202. And this is actually a little bit too fluffy for me to be using it in the crease. But it is nice to fluff things around. So I do want to keep that. So these are both MAC 217. This is going to go into storage because it's a fresh one. This is my old one that still works fine. But like, that's what it's supposed to look like when it's fresh. It's lost a little bit of its luster, but it still works. So I'm happy. What else? Oh, this is a great little brush as well. This is from What's Up Beauty. This is their R102, and this is really nice and small, actually. It's a little bit fluffy for my taste, but it's good to keep it around. And then here we have another What's Up Beauty brush. This is the R104, and this is just too big. It doesn't fit my eye shape, so that needs to go. This is, bringing back memories. This is the Crown C139 tapered crease brush. This used to be my favorite type of crease brush back when I started doing makeup, but I haven't used this brush in so long. It can go. Then, do we have here? This is the Firm Blender E44 from Sigma. I love this for blending out a cream shade. So I'm going to keep that. And this from Spectrum I don't really need. This is the B06. It's a bit too big. I do like that it's got a bit of a flatter edge, but I have other things like it, so I don't necessarily need that. This is the diffused crease from Sigma. This is a great blending brush. I don't use it every day, but it's good to have it. This is the Sigma E25 blending brush, and this is sort of like my backup if my MAC 217 really dies. This is the backup I have for that. Then this little Rephr brush is really great for blending. This is the 14 brush, so that's gonna stay. These two, both from Rephr, the number 1 and the number 27. So the number 27 is just a bit too big and fluffy for me, but it is a Rephr brush, so I want to keep it around. So it's gonna go into storage, but I'm going to put this one with my everyday things. And then this Zoeva brush I use to smoke things out. This is the 228. So that's going to stay as well. This is from What's Up Beauty. This is a R103. And this I do like. But it's going to go into storage because I don't reach for that shape. And this Real Techniques brush has a bit of an angle. I never use it, so that can go. So then we go into like standard eyeshadow brushes. And here again, the Spectrum one from the Tinkerbell collection. This is the A20, 25 or 26. I can't read it because of the gold lettering. But this is great for the travel makeup bag, as is this little guy. This is a short-handled E25 from Sigma. So those are all going to go in the travel makeup bag. These used to be in the travel makeup bag by Eco Tools. They're really cool, they're really lovely, they're easy to work with, but I now just have other brushes that I prefer, so these can go. The brush I use the most is the Sigma E55 this is their eye shading brush. That's just what it's called. This is the old one, which I use just for, like, if I want a wet shadow or play with glitter or something. I don't mind if this gets ruined because it already is, and I've got a fresh one, so I use both. So they're staying. This little Zoeva brush, the Lux Classic Shader, is good for storage. This Nabla concealer brush can go. I have the What's Up Beauty R105, which can go because it's a little bit too big. This one from Rephr is really nice as well. It's a little bit smaller. This is the number 28 brush, so that can stay. And then this one as well, the E57 Firm Shader from Sigma, is a bit smaller as well. So if I want to do something more detailed, that works quite well. The Rephr 02 brush is nice, so that's going to stay. And then this Spectrum one is going to go because I feel it doesn't pick up product very well. And then the BK Beauty one is lovely, but I don't love the shape of this brush in particular. So the 203, it can go into storage. So I'm just grouping a couple of things together. We sort of have like concealer-like flatter paddle brushes, those kind of things. If I want to do a cut crease, I use this from Zoeva, the 233 Cream Shader. So that's going to stay. I also love this one from Sonia Kashuk, the 106, if I want to do a halo eye. So that's going to stay. This is a great lip brush. It's from Hema. I never use a lip brush, but if I want to, I can. So that's staying. And then I just have these like really dense sort of things over here. So let me sort through these first. This I don't have a use for. The Spectrum A29 can go. This is also good. The R106 from What's Up Beauty. So I think that can go into storage because I don't need that brush in my day-to-day life. The A16 from Spectrum can go. This is just, I don't know. I don't know what to do with this. And then we have those bigger things. This is the Sonia Kashuk 203. This used to be my favorite brow bone highlighter eyeshadow brush, but I never do a brow bone highlight anymore, so that can go. Then we have the Face Shape brush from Zoeva. This is intended to be great for contouring and like cream blush and those kind of things. It's gonna go into storage. This, the concealer buffer, and also the Precision Round P28 are quite similar. So I'm going to keep the Sigma, but it's going to go into storage. I'm going to get rid of the Zoeva one. And I'm also going to get rid of this guy. This is from Real Techniques. It was one of their more expensive brushes. It's lovely, but I never reach for it, so it can go. Same thing for this. Another Real Techniques brush is the Deluxe Crease. I've probably used it for concealer in my travel makeup bag, but I don't need it for that anymore. This Zoeva Concealer Perfector, I don't think I've ever used it. I thought it was going to be smaller. It's far too big to fit my under eyes where I would use it, so that can go. This I'm going to keep. This is the little Artiste dupe brush from Max & More, and this is actually really nice if you want to buff something out. For instance, if you're doing lipstick swatches and you want to buff out your foundation around your lip line, this is really nice. We have something that's a little bit more like face brushes left. My favorite highlighter brush is the F03 from Sigma. This is going to go into my everyday rotation because I love it. This guy is not a shape I use, the BK Beauty 113, but it's going to go into storage because it is such a lovely brush. This is another up and up one, so I need to take a decision on that. The Lux Face Focus, the 114. This is good. It's similar, though, to the BK Beauty one. So do I keep this, or do I keep both? I get to keep both. And this is my favorite brush also for concealer. So this is going to go in my everyday rotation. And this I always used with under eye setting powder. That's what this is good for. So I'm going to keep that around as well. This I'm still not decided on. I can put it into storage for now. Then we have fan brushes. Who doesn't love a good fan brush? I mean, this Essence one can go. I have no use for it. This one is nice. Like, this is one of those, like, old school mascara brushes. I never do that technique, but if I ever feel inclined, I can keep that around. You know, and it's good to have a fan brush. This is also Zoeva 129. So I'm going to keep both of those. I've got a bunch of little angled brushes, and here I have a couple for very specific uses. This is my go-to brush if I want to do an eyeliner look. So the Hema one I love, but I have been loving this BK Beauty one as well. Can you just tell how much smaller the BK Beauty one is? Like, I don't think you can see, but it's like half the size of the Hema one. So I do want to keep the BK Beauty one for very detailed things, and then I'm going to keep the Hema around for everyday. This Essence brush I love using for my travel makeup bag. And then these are both brow brushes. So this is great for brow powder, and this is great for brow pomade. So that's why these do both live in my makeup collection. And then I have some like one-offs and different things. I have an eyeliner brush from Sigma, the EO5. If I want to do a gel liner, this is what I use. And if I want to do another type of gel liner, the E15 comes into play, so I need to keep that around as well. This is a like lash comb, so I'm going to keep that around. And then these are great little brushes from Essence, and these are actually to be used with glitter primer and glitters. This is actually small enough that it can fit into a little pot, and because it's silicone, it will pick up the glitter, so you don't have to like pour it out. And this is great for laying the glitter glue down. So that's why I keep these around. And we're going into smaller, like detailed brushes. And most of these I have a use for. These are both lower lash line brushes from Sigma. And I tend to alternate between these. You can tell which one is the older one. The E20 short shader. Maybe keep the black one in my everyday collection. Put this one in storage and keep another one around of the BK Beauty 204 brush because this is really lovely and it kind of replaces, oh, it got spilled in here, this guy for me, the Sephora smudger brush. This is the oldest brush in my makeup collection. The name has completely rubbed off. I use this all the time, but I have found, finally, after all these years, I have found a replacement that's newer to me. So the BK Beauty 204. But this is going to go into storage. And then I just have a couple of these smaller things from Essence, again from the Jurassic World collection. And those were again in my travel makeup bag. And then these are all really small detailed brushes that are great if you just want to do something really, really minute. I have a accent brush from Real Techniques, the 238 from Sigma, an E21, and I have the 237 from Zoeva. So some lovely brushes. Those are going to go into my everyday rotation. I've got a number of spoolies. I keep this guy in my travel makeup bag. Or should I do this one? Because then I also have an angle brush at the same time. No, wait, that's true. This one was in my everyday makeup collection, in my everyday stash, because it replaced this one, which is super old. Because I loved it so much. That's true. And then this can go, oh, this is essentially the same one, right? Yeah, it is. This is the Spectrum 836. Oh, this is 836 and this is 824. But this is travel makeup bag territory for sure. And then this one can go. I don't need that many spoolies. And then we just have these sort of like pencil things left. My favorite one. Zoeva 231 Petite Crease. They still do it, I believe. Love that guy. This they've discontinued. A 224 Looks Defined Crease Brush. This is so great. It's really nice and fluffy. Great for blending things out, but not too big. For an inner corner highlight, I love my Sigma E30. The name has rubbed off, but I also love the BK Beauty 207, I should say, sorry. So these are lovely. So these are gonna go into the everyday stash. And then these are really similar, the What's Up Beauty and the Rephr. So the Rephr is gonna go into the everyday, and the What's Up Beauty can go. This is a Boozy Shut brush that can go. This little spectrum brush is my favorite brush to accent the inner corner. So this is the A12, that's gonna go into everyday. This Zoeva brush is really lovely too. The Petite Eye Blender 223 is gonna stay, but in storage. And then this guy is really nice from Rephr. It's their 26 brush. It's a bit thicker than the Zoeva one, which is why I still prefer the Zoeva one, because it's a bit slimmer, but the Rephr is a good alternative. So both can stay. Wow, so this feels so much more curated. This is no longer like filled to the brim with brushes. I can actually find what I'm looking for now, which is great. So this is now my everyday brush set, which I'm really happy with. And these are all of the brushes I'm going to be getting rid of. Shall we do a count? Let me count it. I did a quick count, and this is 69 brushes that we're getting rid of, which I think is pretty good. Oh, and we had those 4 sponges at the start. So I think that's pretty decent. What do you guys think? So thank you so very much for watching my brush declutter. This was the first declutter. They're going to go live once a week for the next couple of weeks. There are going to be 6 of them in total. So if you'd like to stay tuned for more declutters, a makeup reorganization is going to be coming your way after I filmed all of my declutters, and then we're also going to be doing some other spin-off videos that I tend to do every year once I've sat down and decluttered everything. So thank you so very much for joining me today. Thumbs up the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more by me, and then I hope to see you in my next video. Bye bye!